never give in. Never, never, never.
When I came home from college, I came home to farm with my father, as labour was very difficult. But of course, being on the farm, we were exempt from being called up. It was an occupation that was necessary at that time. I hadn't been in the Home Guard very long before I was approached, would I go to Porthcawl to meet two officers. I was told that it was very much a secret, that we were not to publish it in any shape or form, and that if the Germans did come, that we were to lay low until after they'd passed us, and that we were to do all the damage we could once they'd gone over us. It'd been a hell of a thing, would you come to think of it, you know, that there's collieries and things, we had to stop the lot, you see.
Yeah.
And I know by day I was bloody opening the roads for the colliers to go to work in the snow. I went to a house in Porthcawl that was all boarded up. And I went there and met two officers, two captains actually, but where they were from and who they were I don't know. They asked me some questions and asked me if I could map read 6-figure references and could I read compass, and I said yes. They asked me a number of other questions, how fit I was, and I said, well, I played rugby and you know, one thing or another, and they said, would I join this group? And they told me that they thought I would know the people on the group, and I said yes, I would. So I signed a form or something then.
The official Secrets Act.
You're not very particular what you do. I think twice of signing something now, but I would have been only between 17 and 18 at that time, and that's how I got involved in to start with. And Morgan Thomas, another one of the group, lived in Coatbachan, just across the field from me, so we used to get together to go up, and I think about the first time I was involved, Morgan said, you better bring some bacon and eggs. He said, we can have a bit of a feed up there. So I took some bacon and eggs. I've been on a farm, we were killing 2 pigs in the autumn and 2 in the spring. And we had potatoes in the field, so we were never going to starve. So I took some bacon and eggs and a couple of potatoes with me, and we had a cook-up. And we damn nice suffocated ourselves because there wasn't enough ventilation in this bastard hole, so that didn't go on for long, I can assure you. We got taken in a lorry, I think on 2 weekends. They picked up, we were in the back of the lorry, we didn't know where the hell we were going, there were no signposts on the road in those days. We were picked up in Markham. We were picked some more up about Newport and some more up the other side, about halfway up to Gloucester. And we were then, I think, near Dammit, about 20 of us. And we were on a night duty against, I would have said that they were soldiers just being called up. And we had to get to a place through a wood to get to this place to lay a bomb. And they were trying to stop us. Well, Ivor Stiles and one of the grooms, I'm not sure, I think it was Aubrey, they could talk to each other in bird language. and I. So I was given the job, I can't remember what job I was given. I was given the job as map reader and dabber.
Dabber?
Yeah, dabber. If they caught somebody, I had to dab him, mark him,
Okay.
you see. So he was out of the
He's
competition.
yeah.
So that was my job. I had to dab him and tell him in which direction we had to keep going. And that's about all I can remember of it. I know we had a lot of fun and a hell of a lot of laughs, because I think it was Aubrey was catching hold of him like this, like, and I was dabbing him. There were one or two occasions when we had a little lecture in Porthcawl. And other than that, I'm afraid I cannot give you an awful lot of information. The only thing I did have from afterwards was a revolver. And we'd had strict orders that we weren't to fire a revolver. Really, we weren't supposed to use guns in any shape or form, but there were guns there.
Mm-hmm.
They were a last resort. We had to try and destroy them without making a
By
noise.
guile, yeah.
Aye. The cheese cutter was their biggest fancy. Piece of wire and two handles, put him over his head, and wouldn't have been a pleasant job, would it? We were afraid to tell anybody because we didn't want them to know, be able to tell them where we were, did we? We wanted to keep it a secret as much as we could. I know we were short of milk one night, and they suggested I went down and milked the cow. It was tied in the cow shed. I go, shown how to throw grenades and all that. That happened up in one of our trips up the country.
Yeah.
I know. Frightened us to death. I had a revolver. I think otherwise I had a revolver, and I still had it years later.
Oh, wow.
And there came about that all firearms had to be declared.
Yeah.
And I went to the police station and I said I got a revolver. And the policeman behind the counter said, I want it. I said, what do you mean? He said, I've been moved to London, he said. And he said, I want a bloody revolver. So he said, give it here, bugger off. That was the end of my revolver.
Okay. Okay. So, what do you remember about the OB, the operational base? When were you shown it first? Do you recall?
Well, I think I would, as soon as I was signed on, Morgan called for me and took me up.
Okay, so it was Morgan showed you.
Morgan Thomas, you see, because he lived only across the field from me.
Yeah.
And we tried, I know we were told not to go together.
How many bunks were in there? Do you recall? Were there 6 or?
3 on one side anyway, one across the top end. That was 4. 4 bunks.
Right.
I think it was 4 bunks and 2 chairs, more or less.
Dilwyn, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Not at all.